Hello everyone. I'm recording this video primarily to meet the needs of some people who don't really understand the budget. For years, I have looked at economic analysis of union budgets and not really understood the source of various comments such as this budget is populist, or the budget is growth oriented, or it's not balanced, and so on. So I decided to make this video to explain to others, based on my rudimentary understanding of economics, the key considerations that go into the analysis of a budget. Now, this is not a very scientific approach, but it's intuitive nevertheless, and so it will be easier for you to understand the various dimensions of the union budget. So if you look at the picture, the government essentially tries to create a budget that balances out three considerations. The primary consideration, of course, is that the government should have enough revenue to meet its expenditure and investments for the future. If they don't have that, essentially they are running a deficit economy, which is not desirable anyways, because that will have an adverse effect on the currency of the country. So essentially, by designing the budget, the government tries to get enough revenue through taxes, excise duties, cess, etc., to be able to meet the expenditure of running the government, as well as to make the right investments for the welfare of the country. Now, while considering the investments, expenditure, and revenue sources, essentially the government looks at two dimensions. One is industry and how they can promote employment through domestic and export-oriented industry. And second is, of course, the well-being of individuals, whether they are workers, farmers, company employees, or normal consumers. So we can look at the union budget simply across these six dimensions and evaluate where the government is laying their maximum emphasis. So the budget can be called populist if the emphasis is on individuals and on benefiting the farmers, the employees, workers, and consumers in general, which is normally the trend closer to elections where the government tries to appease individual voters. On the other hand, if the government is interested in a growth-oriented budget, they would channel their investments and expenditure towards incentivizing industry, whether it's domestic or export-oriented industry. This is normally the case, perhaps when the government does not have pressure to appease individual voters and can make the right investments for a healthy economy. On the other hand, if the government is running on deficit and wants to increase its revenue sources, it may compromise the welfare of individuals as well as industry and actually hike taxes to ensure that it has enough revenue income to be able to meet expenditure and investment liabilities. So that's broadly the overview of this framework through which you can analyze any budget. I'd be happy to hear your feedback on this little video, which is my first experience in recording my own voice as a voice outlay over a simple PowerPoint screen. So looking forward to your feedback. Thank you.